Hi guys, it's Gary and it's August and we are about to do some processing for both some green beans that we've harvested out of the garden and our jalapeños. And this is my wife, El Jefe, the boss of the job, and we're going to get started in just 1 second. So of course the first thing we're going to do is cut the green beans after they've been washed. And you can decide on the length that you want, but we're going at about 1.5, almost 2 inches. So if you're a novice, one of the things you can do is get this reference. It's called the Ball Blue Book, which is the Bible for canning. And since we're processing green beans, they are a low acid food, so we have to use pressure canning for food safety. And all that information will be in the Ball Blue Book. They have updated versions on it rather frequently, so you may want to get that reference. Now when we do our jalapenos, since vinegar is in that, it'll make it acidic, and we can use what's called a hot water bath with that. Oh, and by the way, while I'm thinking about it, my daughter wanted me to remind everybody that she did all the picking with the stuff that we're processing today. So, kudos to Leanne.
Kudos!
This is one of the varieties that we grow. It's called Kentucky Wonder. It's an heirloom variety. And even though these aren't quite filled out, the pods haven't, they can still be harvested. But even when they get really big, they will still be tender and just a delicious flavor. These are a cross between Kentucky Wonder and Blue Lake, and we've also found that even though these might be getting a little large, they're still quite good. And this is our last variety. It's called Blue Lake. This is a bush type, whereas the other two were indeterminate, or runner beans or pole beans.
So these are the Blue Wonders. They're the cross between a Kentucky Wonder, which is a large bean, which Gary already explained to you, and the Bush Blue Lake. So they're a little bit sleeker, they're very good, they are tender for longer. And we're going to do a cold pack. So I'm packing them in here cold. They recommended to do a hot pack. They said you could get more in the jar and other things. So I'm going to fill them up just a little bit more. Well, actually I'm going to leave the one that recommended 1 inch of a headspace. And but I'm going to pack them in there kind of tight. Later on we're going to add the water and the salt to it. So this is what I'm doing now is I'm going to fill 6 jars, quart jars up. And we're going to pressure can these.
One of the things that you need to remember about pressure canning is your gauge should be checked yearly. And at least in our state, the Cooperative Extension usually checks the gauges. It's important to know how much pressure you're getting. This is kind of precise and you don't want to cut corners. So the Ball Blue Book should give you all the details of cooking times for the various vegetables and how much water you need to put in the pressure canner and things of that sort. Right now we're testing to make sure we have a good seal and see if everything's cool. So the recipe says we should add a half a teaspoon of salt in each one of these jars. So I'm going to do that now and then we'll pour the water over top of it. Another nice thing about doing your own canning, you can decide how much salt you put in, and commercially usually canned vegetables have a lot more salt than you might put in at home. So that would be a little healthier. Okay, so we're adding water up to the bottom of the rim there. So these will have to be cooked in the pressure canner for about 20 minutes. And that's one of the reasons why we freeze our green beans. When we're freezing green beans, all you have to do is blanch them, which means you put them in a hot water bath for a certain number of minutes. Again, you get the information from the Ball Blue Book. And then you put them in your plastic bags, throw them in your freezer, and you're done. But pressure canning takes a little bit more time. Of course, you don't have to take up freezer space though, because they don't have to be refrigerated. So you decide what's important. Another thing that I'd want to suggest you do is make sure that your seal is a fairly new seal, because if not, you will have leakage around the top and you won't be able to build up pressure, which is exactly what happened to us. So you don't have to heat up the lids before you put them on. You just put them on, screw them on, and then you put them in the hot water bath or the pressure canner. Sorry about that. And how long are we going to process them for?
The Ball Blue Book says 20 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. So there's about 3 inches of water in the canner. I did heat it. They said to heat it to 180 degrees. And this is a big canner, so it will actually hold 6 jars. It would actually hold 7 jars, but I'm only going to put 6 in right now.
All right. This is our second load. So what was the empty jar for?
Spacer. I didn't have enough jars to fill the canner up, so to keep the other jars from collapsing in, I put this one there to kind of fill up the space. I do that when I do pressure and
You can see there's still quite a bit of activity going on in the jar, even after taking it out. Well, they'll keep on the shelf for quite a while, but it's best to consume them within the year. We're finishing up here after 12 o'clock, so we started this project at what time? 8 o'clock, so hey, you gotta be committed. Well, that's all for today. See you later. Whatever's left over is not wasted, it goes to the compost pile.